Thanks for giving this video a shot if this is your first time on my channel, and if it's not and you're a returning subscriber, I love you. And if you're new, think about subscribing because I really want to get to 100 by the end of the year. I think it's doable. Anyway, I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, and this is my review of Escape from Kabul. This is not the third film in the Escape From series starring Kurt Russell. It's actually just a documentary on HBO about the actual Escape from Kabul. Just so that you know, I'm a blind film critic, so I watch movies with audio description. So a lot of this was described to me, and I would think that for if you were somebody who can see and you've decided to check out my channel, I'm going to guess, based on the footage that was described, that this is a harder watch for you than it is for someone to describe the footage to me. Although I was still disturbed by a lot of it. So, just a heads up on that before you dive in. What this is exactly what it says it is. It's a documentary about the U.S.'s exit from Afghanistan, and the escape from Kabul part is all of the Afghan refugees trying to escape from a terrible situation. They're being left there with the Taliban, and many of them believe that their lives are in danger, or they're women who have started to enjoy actually having a life. And for many reasons, thousands upon thousands upon thousands of them see this as a last-ditch effort, and they're willing to risk their lives to get out of the country because they believe they'll die anyway. So, why not? I'd heard this documentary was really good. I saw some reviews come in about it before, like when HBO was dropping it. So I bothered to take 5 minutes to watch this documentary. It felt a little bit more important. And it is. I have a lot of thoughts about it. I think this documentary is very straightforward. It's not trying to take a side. It's not trying to do anything other than present you information. It didn't feel like there was a slant to it. It's interviewing people. It's interviewing soldiers who are on base and giving you information that way. It's interviewing people, Afghan refugees. It's interviewing people who got left behind. It's interviewing actually even a member of the Taliban. It's got a whole bunch of different interviews all compiled into one, along with tons of footage of all of the horrors of the thousands of people climbing over fences and breaking through the gates and wading through literal shit to try to get there, and babies that are dying and kids getting trampled, and people falling off of airplanes because they think if they climb on to the outside of an airplane, because I guess people don't know how fast airplanes travel, that they'll be able to hold on. It's a lot of that. It's kind of a heavy document. It's not a happy time. This is not a happy documentary. But for me, all of that worked. Now, my only concern with the documentary, and why I'm not just jumping up and down and saying, yeah, it's the best documentary I've ever seen, is it's really short. It's an hour and 17 minutes. And there's something about, in this day and age, when you can't even crack the 90-minute mark with something like this, that kind of makes me feel like you shorted the story somehow, that you have taken something that was a massive event that spanned over 5 days, and you've managed to cut it down so much that it's in like a nice tight 77-minute package. And I think this is a little bit more than 77 minutes. So I think we needed a little bit more of the why this happened, the lead up to this. There's no build up to this. It just kind of is like, hey, this is happening. We are leaving Afghanistan and the people are flooding the airport. It's basically how the film starts. There's about a minute to 2 minutes of any sort of lead in. And then we just start interviewing people about the madness at the airport, and it just goes into the end. So there's nothing really about the critical failure that led to this. It's not really an exploration of that. I know that might have made it a little bit more political, and they wanted to just show you the horrors of leaving these people behind. It's like, we just watched the news. This is kind of like, to me, what's happening right now with the soccer team rescue. Like, Netflix has decided to make like a limited series, Thai Cave Rescue, which I have not gotten the opportunity to watch yet, which came after Amazon just released the movie with, directed by Ron Howard. That was on the service, which comes a year after the documentary The Rescue. Like, we've had so many things just about the boys trapped in a cave just within the last year that I feel like you can learn all you needed to know about just that incident alone. And this is probably going to be the first of many things about the exit from Afghanistan. Sort of like, we're just now getting 5 Days of Memorial, which is a documentary about what happened at the hospital. Not a documentary, it's a limited series about what happened at the hospital in New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina, and what led to the deaths of many of the patients. So all of these have a story. They have a beginning, middle, and end to them. I feel like this only goes for the middle. This only shows us the most horrifying event possible, the peak, the worst of it. It's trying to just straight stab you. And I get that, and it's effective, but there's no buildup. There's no beginning to this. There's no how we got here. There's no what led to the critical failure, what could have made this better. What do we need to do next time? How could we improve this? It's all just kind of insanity. And even looking at a documentary from last year that I really loved, Attica, about the prison riot at Attica, it shows the buildup to that. And it has kind of an explanation of it, and it has kind of the fallout after. And to make sure that something like that would never happen again. So this is a little, it's trying to get out there first. It's trying to be the first thing out. It's got the footage that it knows that it has. That's extremely powerful on its own. And it thinks that that is enough. And it could be. For a lot of people, it will be. For a lot of people, just seeing that alone is going to cause them to be upset and rally the troops and sleepless nights and all that stuff. Like I said, I can't even see the footage, and the stuff that was described to me was staggering. But as a documentary, to only show this one, it's like a 3-act thing, and they only showed you act 2. And I think a better documentary down the line is probably going to be released about the same thing, and it will show the critical failure of the entire event, and how it could have been avoided, and what we could do right next time should that happen, while also including a lot of the same footage, a lot of the same interviews. I'm sure at some point one of the streaming services will make a limited series about it, because that's what we do now. I'm not watching Dahmer, by the way. Just going to throw that in there. That's the victims have protested it, and I hear them, and that is not entertainment. So take this for what you will. As far as audio description, I didn't catch who narrated it. I'm sorry. And it's like I said, it's got for me, I got good narration. There's a lot of stuff that's spoken in foreign language, so it has to be translated and narrated because we can't read subtitles, and it does a really good job of that. It also does a really good job of describing some of the images, although a lot of the actual one-on-one interviews with the people involved do that as well. So it's not quite as necessary for the description to do that because of how much they're describing it themselves from what they remember. But it does let you know there's a man falling from a plane, and it does it at the same time that other people are talking about it, so that you know that there was actual footage of the man falling from the plane. So this is maybe not one for the kids. But yeah, so this is my somber tone for the day. I'm not low energy. I just feel like my pep and step doesn't work on a film like this. So that's my review. So I'm gonna give Escape from Kabul a B. It's got the punch. It's got the right hook. But unfortunately, it only has that. It's just shock and awe is what it is, and it can be very effective. But at 77 minutes, something tells me that spending 5 days at an airport, that there was more than 77 minutes worth of a documentary to be had here, to honor those lives that were lost, that tried so hard to get into and leave the country, to get into the airport, to leave the country, and also to the soldiers who spent those 5 days in just horrific conditions, watching just this tremendous tragedy unfold. So 77 minutes is, normally I'm happy for tight run times. This time I'm kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't feel right. So that's it for me. Like I said, please subscribe. You can visit my website, macmovieguy.com, for more reviews. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And the adna.org is like IMDb for narrators. So you can go there and check them out and support the people who give us the audio description. That's it for me today. I got to go review something else, and I will see you on the other side.